Abdalla, we got news earlier in the week that the Giants and defensive line star Dexter Lawrence have not been able to come to an agreement on a contract extension. And Dexter Lawrence has told the Giants that he has requested a trade. And so as the week has gone, as I think about this situation with the new head coach, with John Harbaugh taking over as head coach of the Giants, I don't feel like the Giants are a team that's like a straight rebuild situation, right? Like they had the rookie quarterback last year with Jackson Dart. He seemed to play pretty well when he was out there. The major concern for him is the concussions. So, kid, you got to stop running. You got to learn how to play quarterback from the pocket because the more you get hit, the inability for the Giants to do anything in the future is going to ride on your ability to be on the field. So I don't feel like the hiring of Harbaugh leans towards a team that's like a rebuild situation. I laid this out to you back in January when we were talking about the hiring with New York, is that I think the Giants are set to be one of those teams that goes worst to first. We see it in the NFL every single year. There's always a couple teams that no one expected to have a good season. Someone that was good takes a step back, and that team pops. And I think the Giants aren't too far from that, and a part of that is their defense. So as I continue to think about Dexter Lawrence requesting a trade, I think the Giants should figure it out and make sure that he's there for the long term with that defensive line that's pretty good. And they have the pieces. And seeing if a new coaching staff can kind of get them to the next level, I think would be the smartest way for the Giants to handle it.
Yeah, I think so too. But at the same time, if a player who you haven't been able to get a deal with done for the last few years, who has wanted a deal for the past few years, and it's not like when they blew this up, they brought in a new GM. You know, Joe Schoen is still, in fact, Joe Schoen got a promotion. So Joe Schoen's still there. So, and it seems like when he's been there and Harbaugh came in, it wasn't that Harbaugh said all these decisions are going to go through me, not Joe Schoen. And there was this weird thing. And Joe Schoen was like, no, I'm still running things and all this kind of stuff. So I would say that it seems like this is headed in a not great direction, right? Because Harbaugh says he wants personnel decisions. Joe Schoen still says everything goes through him. And if I'm Harbaugh, I want complete control, but because Joe Schoen hasn't made the best decisions when he's with the Giants. But if Lawrence has been wanting this for a while, the problem with Lawrence is if you look at it and if you're going from a place of negotiation, if you're the Giants with him, he hasn't had a great year last year. Like last year, he only had half a sack. He didn't have a great year. Like he played in 17 games. He had half a sack. The year before that, he played in 12 games. He had 9 sacks. The year before that, 16 games, he had 4.5 sacks.
No, I know, but look at the number, the advanced nerd numbers.
I know the pressures and everything like that. I understand that.
Are top of the league.
I understand that, but if I'm going into negotiations,
and if I'm the Giants, how they get paid. They get paid off of sacks.
They get paid off of sacks, and if I'm the Giants from a position of negotiations, I'm going to go into this negotiation, this extension, whatever he wants, negotiation period, and say, look, man, you had a down year. And maybe a new regime coming in and a new coaching staff coming in, you can change that in a new scheme, whatever. But the fact of the matter is he's wanted a new deal for a while and he hasn't gotten it. And now he wants out. And if you look at the Giants draft picks, they're trying to rebuild this team. They don't have, it's not like they're a team with 4 draft picks in the first 2 rounds or 5 draft picks in the first 3 rounds. Well, I would stockpile draft picks.
Well, and that's also why at 5, seeing some of the mock drafts suggest that Jeremiah Love goes 5 to the Giants, I think is crazy.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't make any sense to me. You're right. Take advantage of the draft, stockpile, and maybe, if you're in that situation and you have a chance, maybe you move back a little in the first round to collect some additional draft capital. That might not be a bad idea for the Giants as we look at the team overall. The other thing is like the development of Jackson Dart. I think Dart can be a good quarterback. The story, though, with Dart is that he hasn't been able to stay on the field. We saw it last year. Like a part of what worked for the Giants offensively last year is that Jackson Dart could throw the ball, but also he ran a lot. They ran the football a lot with Jackson Dart, and he took a lot of hits, and he was knocked out of games, and he was constantly in the concussion protocol. That's what has to change for Jackson Dart and for the Giants offense overall. Matt Nagy recently talked to the media, and he talked about how his experience coaching Patrick Mahomes could help Jackson Dart.
He's Jackson Dart. He's not Patrick Mahomes. I was able to be fortunate enough to be around Patrick for many years, and I saw Patrick as a rookie, and then I got to see him when I came back from Chicago 4 years in. I got to see, 4 more years of him as a vet. We can use that for more like routines and like maybe how we did things, but first of all, I know how much respect that Jackson has for Patrick, and we've talked a little bit about the process and what he's been through, but like we've also made it clear, like you have to be Jackson Dart, and he's going to do that. So it's our job to surround him and insulate him, give him direction, but he has to be able to tell us like how he likes it, why he likes it, and so forth.
All right, so that was Matt Nagy. He's the new offensive coordinator for the New York Giants with Jackson Dart, essentially telling you nothing. And the reason I say that is Bleck Abdalla, we're broadcasting live from Chicago. Matt Nagy was the head coach for the Chicago Bears 2 head coaches ago. And he wasn't good.
No.
He was bad.
Yeah.
And the one thing that we would always point to with Matt Nagy when he was here in Chicago is he says words. Words come out of his mouth. His mouth moves, things are said. But usually they just go in circles.
Mm-hmm.
They don't really mean anything. They don't really it doesn't actually, you don't walk away thinking to yourself, oh, that was an enlightening conversation that I just listened to.
I learned something about football there.
That was wonderful. And I'm sure he's a smart guy when it comes to football. But when he talks about football, it just kind of goes in circles. So, Laura, can you play again that clip and just listen for Nagy talking in circles? Take a listen.
He's Jackson Dart. He's not Patrick Mahomes. I was able to be fortunate enough to be around Patrick for many years, and I saw Patrick as a rookie, and then I got to see him when I came back from Chicago 4 years in. I got to see, 4 more years of him as a vet. We can use that for more like routines and like maybe how we did things, but first of all, I know how much respect that Jackson has for Patrick, and we've talked a little bit about the process and what he's been through, but like we've also made it clear, like you have to be Jackson Dart, and he's going to do that. So it's our job to surround him and insulate him, give him direction, but he has to be able to tell us like how he likes it, why he likes it, and so forth.
Okay, so to take anything away from the clip, because Matt Nagy was around Patrick Mahomes, he may be able to help Jackson Dart with things that Dart has to tell Nagy about, but also Jackson Dart needs to be Jackson Dart while doing said things. Well, do I have this correct?
Well, Chris, as a guy, as someone who made a living, you know how like when you're in high school, right? And you got to do a report, and you have to go in front of the class and you have to talk. And the teacher sits in the back and holds up like the minutes.
Oh yeah,
and like you got to talk. Yeah, you got to talk for like 7 minutes.
You got to hit. You're out.
You got to hit. You're out.
Yeah,
like I was
like you're a stand-up comedian. You go to a stand-up show. They've got a clock,
and it's like you got to go 5. You got to give 5 minutes or 6 minutes.
You got to get to 5 minutes.
You got to get to 5 minutes. I was one of those people that like as soon as I hit the 5 minutes, I was out. To be like, all right, and thank you for your time. I'm out. So like
we know we've listened to the show
exactly. So I as an expert in speaking about
time.
Nothing.
Yes. Filling time while speaking.
Like I can translate Matt Nagy for the masses.
Okay.
Okay, what he's saying here is Jackson Dart is not Patrick Mahomes because Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes and Jackson Dart is Jackson Dart.
Right.
And Jackson Dart will never be Patrick Mahomes because Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes and Jackson Dart is Jackson Dart. And what the only thing we can do for Jackson Dart is let him be Jackson Dart.
Yeah.
And the best thing we can do for Jackson Dart is to let him be Jackson Dart by insulating him and give him the best tools so he can be Jackson Dart as Jackson Dart. Now, we've got Patrick Mahomes over here. And from my time being with Patrick Mahomes here.
Can this be a podcast somewhere?
With my time being with Patrick Mahomes as a rookie, because I was with Patrick Mahomes as a rookie. We were great with Patrick Mahomes as a rookie. And then I went to Chicago. And my time in Chicago, we made the playoffs. It wasn't great. And then I was back with Patrick Mahomes. And that Patrick Mahomes was Patrick Mahomes. And then I came, and now I'm here with Jackson Dart.
Yes.
The best way I can learn from what Patrick, as far as routine goes, learning what he goes through, going in the building, playing quarterbacks, picking up the football, throwing the football.
Dart is Dart, Mahomes.
Picking up the football, throwing the football.
You can't be the other
two
guy.
Receivers, handing the football off, two running backs, the way Patrick Mahomes does it, the way Jackson Dart does it.
You know they're going to cancel this show if you keep doing this, right?
It's different. We can learn as a person, and now the teacher has held up 3 minutes, and I go, and thank you for your time. I'm Matt Nagy. Coming up next, John Harbaugh.
Yeah, no.
That's how you do it. That's speaking Matt Nagy. So he said nothing there.
I thank you.
Nothing.
Yes. Well, that's why when we played the clip, it was like, oh yeah, this is our guy, Matt Nagy. He just kind of says words. Yeah. They're coming out of his mouth. They're not leading you to anything.
No.
I was with him okay, whatever. So we're talking about Jackson Dart, sponsored by Robinhood. You can expect more from yourself, expect more from your money. Learn more and get started today with Robinhood at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports. If you want to call the show or text the show, you can call us and text us at 310-840-4910. We go to Mitch in New Jersey. I'm with Bleck Abdalla. What's up, Mitch?
Mitch. Hey, how we doing, guys? Good afternoon. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
I think it'd be smart. I think the Giants would take, he's kind of almost a one-in-a-generation, really good running back, Jeremiah Love.
Ooh.
And then maybe we can move up to the end of the first round, get the Woods from Clemson. Okay. And that way, Jackson Dart, my boy, he'll have a good running game because they also have the running back from Arizona State that they drafted, got hurt. Skidbo, is that how you say his name?
Scatabo?
Mm-hmm.
Scatabo. It's me, not you. And that way, and they could probably, it's a deep wide receiver draft, and defensive lineman, they can get a wide receiver in the later rounds, day two. And I follow a lot of USC. I know they're in the Big Ten. It's so stupid where they would move all these teams around. So the Big Ten is USC. I think they're recruiting this coming year. I think they make the playoffs. And the following year, it's looking good, they're recruiting. And I know it's early for college. It's the start of baseball season. I'm talking college football. But thanks for taking my call. Have a nice weekend.
Thank you, Mitch. Call again. Mitch in New Jersey calling Bleck Abdalla here on Westwood One Sports.